These days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Lunchtime at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific on ABC.
Hawaii is in an uncertain time. It is stressful to know which businesses and services are available. Mint Moving and Cleaning is here to help. We can provide you with residential, commercial, and long-distance moving. We prepare your home or office for final inspection. Here at Mint, we work hard to give you peace of mind in knowing that your belongings are safe. Mint Moving and Cleaning, your all-in-one safe moving solution.
Make your next move Mint.
At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, like how nice it is to save on your auto policy. But it's even nicer knowing that if this happens, or this happens, or this, or this, or even this, we've seen and covered it. So switch to Farmers and you could save. Get a quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Greetings, saints and friends. I'm Pastor Billy Holland Jr. of the Apostolic Faith Church, welcoming you every Sunday morning here in Hawaii and across the world to break in your weekend with faith, song, and worship with the Kingdom of God Crusade. We'll share an hour of music and song with the church band and the choir, along with a spirit-filled and spirit-directed sermon. We hope and pray you'll let us be a part of your Sunday activities. That's the Kingdom of God Crusade every Sunday morning.
Now, from KITV4 Island News, this is Good Morning Hawaii.
Right now in Good Morning Hawaii, a Maui family's battle with COVID-19 ends in tragedy after 9 members test positive. Hear their warning to take the coronavirus seriously.
Plus, the pandemic is closing medical clinics and exacerbating our doctor shortage here in Hawaii, how the industry is now filling the gap for future physicians. Plus, the fallout from the riots at the Capitol continue. There are growing calls to remove President Trump from office. We're talking live with 2 of Hawaii's members of Congress as another impeachment could be moving forward starting this week. Good morning, Hawaii. Happy Sunday. Thanks for joining us for Hawaii's only weekend morning newscast. I'm Tom George.
Aloha kakayaka. I'm Annalisa Burgos.
Yeah, a lot to get to, a busy week in news, and we want to start with coronavirus news. COVID-19 has impacted the lives of everyone, and that includes a family from Maui who had 9 members test positive for that virus.
Yeah, one of those family members did not survive, and now the Sodetani Ohana has a warning they want everyone to hear.
Denise Fernandez's family of 11 have lived in Las Vegas for 4 years. Her husband, Eric Sodetani, worked in a hotel and the airport, high tourist traffic areas that put him at risk for the virus.
He caught it at work. He was getting kind of paranoid because a lot of people were getting infected at work. He went to the doctor. He was positive. From day one, COVID ravaged his body. And he's a big guy. He's a gentle giant. We from the middle of the Pacific. Gentle giants are plenty, you know. But it ravaged through him like he was nothing.
Sodetani was hospitalized and on a ventilator.
I begged and begged if I could be there because nobody should die alone. They finally allowed me in to the ICU to watch through a window as they continued to do CPR until I told them, "Pao, enough, let him." They put a speaker in his room so I could talk. And the first words I said to him was, "Happy anniversary." A nurse heard that and told me to go in the room so I could hold his hand right before they shut the machine off.
Sodetani passed away on January 2nd. The couple planned to celebrate their 50th birthdays together this year.
That COVID took so much from him. And I was right there. And he couldn't be comforted.
Fernandez, her mother, son, daughter-in-law, and grandchildren also tested positive for COVID, but their symptoms were not severe.
This virus will affect all 9 of us, and ages 69 down to 9 months. All different.
Fernandez's 2 other children tested negative. Her daughter just gave birth to a baby girl who is also negative for the virus.
Nobody talks about COVID, what it does behind the scenes to the families, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially.
The family faces mounting medical bills and funeral costs to bring Sodatani's body back to Maui. Fernandez says their Maui Ohana is helping support them through their GoFundMe page. She hopes her experience will encourage people to take the disease seriously.
If that one person didn't travel sick, he would be here today. It's not worth it. You know, it's not. Like, if you think you're untouchable, you're not. This disease does not discriminate. And it does not only affect you. Trust me. Trust me. It affects the whole family. If my story, our story, can touch a few people's lives, can change a few people of those, those people out there saying masks don't matter and don't follow the guidelines. If we can even just touch a couple of their hearts, then we have a small victory.
Wow, just a powerful message there from that family, and so many other families around the country and here in Hawaii dealing with that as well. So such an important message too to take that seriously. Definitely thinking of that family. And around our islands, the DOH, meanwhile, reported 4 more COVID-19 related deaths and 250 new cases. 159 are on Oahu, 51 on Maui, 20 on the Big Island, and there were also 20 Hawaii residents who were diagnosed with COVID-19 while they were out of state. Now, since the start of the pandemic, the state has reported more than 23,000 cases. The statewide death toll now stands at 307. Now, not included in those latest numbers are 2 new cases on Kauai. The district health office there confirmed both are residents who recently traveled. Now, all their close contacts are being identified and are being told to quarantine, and they have been offered testing.
And on Maui, a large care home says one staffer has tested positive for COVID-19. Halemakua Health Services says the person works at its Kahului facility. The person is asymptomatic and quarantined at home. The positive case was discovered during mass testing after a resident tested positive on Friday. Halemakua says the 2 cases are unrelated as they did not have contact and were in different areas in the facility. 2 more rounds of testing are planned for all residents and staff over the next 2 weeks. And here on Oahu, a driver of the bus has tested positive for coronavirus. Oahu Transit Services says it found out yesterday. The operator's last day of work was Monday, January 4th. OTS says vehicles the employee drove were cleaned and disinfected, and the operator had no prolonged contact with any riders and employees. Last Sunday, they drove Route 31 from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. On Monday, they drove 4 different routes around Windward, Oahu, downtown, and Manoa from 5 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Yeah, and just hard to fathom. Around the country, more than 24,000 people in the U.S. have died from COVID-19 in just the first 9 days of this year. And only a little bit of 2021 already happening so far. That's according to Johns Hopkins University. It also reports more than 2 million new cases in just that same amount of time, just this short time that we've been in this year. Since the pandemic started, more than 22 million people have tested positive, and 370,000 people in the U.S. have died.
Experts from the University of Hawaii at Manoa School of Medicine say the pandemic is forcing some medical clinics to close down permanently and pushing some doctors to retire early. The study states Hawaii needs at least 700 more doctors across the islands. Of the nearly 1,000 physicians surveyed for the study, almost half reported the pandemic has disrupted their practice, and the problem is also impacting Hawaii's future medical workers.
The COVID pandemic has really affected our pre-medical and health students. Part of the application to medical school in these health programs is you have to do clinical rotations in the hospitals or at clinics, and this past year COVID has taken all of that away.
UH is looking at tripling its medical school to help bolster Hawaii's medical workforce. Others are trying to make the health profession more appealing by pushing legislation to increase Medicare payments to doctors.
Yeah, been a wild news week. I wish I could say the weather was a little calmer, but even that, it's been a little crazy. We've got a live look outside of Honolulu right now, and meteorologist Malika Dudley standing by on Maui, where we actually saw some heavy weather there overnight. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so the high in the atmosphere, we have a disturbance which the National Weather Service called a vigorous upper level low, and we saw the effects of that last night a little bit before sunset, at least here in the Pukalani-Kula area. The sky was a weird color, it was glowing, and then you could literally hear the rain making its way towards us. Lots of lightning, not a lot of thunder, but it did prompt flood advisories for both Maui and the Big Island's Kona side. In fact, in Huelo, one of our viewers says that she reported 5 minutes of coffee bean sized hail. So good news is that for now things are calming down, that disturbance is dropping away from us, and high pressure is expected to take over the forecast again. So today it's a transition day from a land sea breeze pattern to trade wind weather. This map shows those thunderstorms passing through Maui County and the Big Island last night, clearing off to the south this morning. Winds are still light with a bit of a southerly element to them at this time. Our cloud and rain forecast shows partly cloudy skies, and as trades take a firmer hold on Monday, showers for windward areas in the morning. Radar much quieter than it was last night, with just some light passing showers statewide. Today we are transitioning to light to moderate trade winds. Tuesday, a front will again cut off that airflow and shift us back to light and variable with a bit of a southwest element to it, especially as the front draws closer. Tuesday night, moderate west-southwest winds are then expected, and there's actually a lot more going on, so I'll go deeper into our 8-day forecast in my next weather hit to give you more details. Back to you.
All right, thanks,
Coffee
Malika.
bean sized hail. That was very specific.
It's very good to visualize.
Yeah.
Time now, 6:10 a.m. The search continues for answers. Investigators trying to find out what caused an airliner in Indonesia to plummet into the ocean just minutes after taking off.
Yeah, plus people on the west side of Oahu fed up with drivers going too fast on Farrington. The DOT now says they have a solution, but neighbors say they aren't sure if it's enough. We'll explain. Don't go away. Good morning, Hawaii. We'll be right back.
It's here. Instant funding online from SpeedyCash.com. Apply for a loan using the SpeedyCash app. If approved, funds apply to your debit card in minutes. Get instant funding from SpeedyCash.com.
It was just a dead stop.
It's the first time that I haven't worked since I was 15 years old.
Open up, close again, open up, close again.
We are done. Our restaurant is closed due to Corona.
I've had to move back in with my parents.
To get back to real life, I'm pretty much willing to do anything.
To be that selfish and still be like, okay, we're just gonna party and nothing matters. It's a bummer.
We have to do it if we want these tiers to just open up more.
The more we work together, the quicker we can get out of this.
Aloha, Kaniala, Danny Klekini. If you need Medicare insurance, call Premier Benefit Consultants. You know, this Kama'aina company represents more Medicare Advantage plans than anyone else in Hawaii, and will give you good advice for free. They believe in family, integrity, and exceptional service. Old school, local style. Contact Premier Benefit Consultants for Medicare advice you need and service you deserve. Mahalo.
Okay, yeah, that was headquarters. We've been made. We have to ditch the car.
Yes, let's go. What are we going to do with the car? We can't just ditch it.
Well, they did pay us to save the world. Why don't we start by saving a life?
Mahalo for your donation to Kidney Cars.
We'll pick up the car from any location. Donate a car, save a life. Call Kidney Cars today for more information.
It's here. Instant funding online from SpeedyCash.com. Apply for a loan using the Speedy Cash app. If approved, funds applied to your debit card in minutes. Get instant funding from SpeedyCash.com.
This is Good Morning Hawaii.
Welcome back. Time now 6:12. The search for answers continues this morning after an Indonesian airliner went down just minutes after takeoff.
Yeah, overnight, more debris was found at the apparent crash site in the Java Sea. ABC's Gio Benitez has the latest developments.
Overnight, they also located the position of the black boxes. Those are critical in understanding what happened here. Now they're working to recover those from the bottom of the Java Sea. Take a look at this because we are getting new images right now from Indonesia. This is underwater video showing the debris on the seafloor. Now, the Boeing 737 took off Saturday afternoon and lost contact with the tower 4 minutes later. It plummeted, listen to this, 10,000 feet in just 30 seconds. 62 people were on board, including 7 children and 3 infants. Now, this flight took off from the same airport as that 2018 Lion Air crash, which killed 189 people. That plane was a MAX plane, grounded for 2 years after those deadly crashes. This plane was not a MAX. It was an older model, so this investigation is just getting started, Dan.
62 people. Do we have any idea what could have caused this plane to go down?
Well, Dan, right now it is just too early to know for sure. They are certainly looking at it, and they're going to have to look at everything from catastrophic failure to the possibility of a bomb.
And that was ABC's Gio Benitez reporting. Back here at home, the National Transportation Safety Board is calling for changes on how flight instructors are monitored after a 2019 plane crash in Mokuleia. All 11 people on board were killed. On Thursday, the NTSB asked the Federal Aviation Administration to better monitor the effectiveness of flight instructors. It says the pilot in the Mokuleia crash was inadequately trained. The NTSB found the person who trained that pilot and others had a student pass rate that was lower than the national average. It wants an automatic system to flag which flight instructors have student pass rates that fall below 80%.
Well, the number of pedestrian accidents along Farrington Highway has the Department of Transportation planning to put in raised pedestrian crosswalks on the west side of Oahu. But as KITV4's Eddie Dowd reports, some have been frustrated over a lack of input from the community about that project.
Officials at the DOT see these crosswalks as one of the best ways to get drivers to slow down and reduce fatalities.
And we can say that based on all the other areas we put them in.
The department on Thursday announced construction would begin on Monday on 2 raised pedestrian crosswalks on Farrington Highway in the Nanakuli area. But the short notice has some feeling blindsided over what they call a lack of communication and dialogue with the community.
Because this is not as easy as, adding in lines. This is tens of thousands of people needing to modify their behavior. I think what the community really wanted to hear was, what were the options, what was thought through, how were they going to take into consideration everything from the amount of traffic we have to whether or not the crosswalk being the speed bump is safe.
But the DOT is standing by its fast rollout of the project.
I cannot delay this when it's a safety issue. Again, 3 fatalities in 6 weeks is crazy. We're going to do something immediately. And I would rather be criticized for doing something and not giving enough notice about it rather than not doing it.
People we talked to who live near the Pali Highway say they haven't noticed any major changes to traffic after they were installed.
They haven't caused any problem that I'm aware of since I've been here for years, and I think they've slowed down traffic to a certain extent.
But because Farrington is the only public highway in and out of the west side, the concern is these types of structures could cause more harm than good.
Whether or not it's effective or not, I don't know because I'm not an engineer, I don't work at DOT, but the community discussion, that should always happen first.
Eddie Dowd, KITV4, Island News.
This segment of KITV4 Island News is sponsored by Slumber World.
The cornerstone to healthy life is 8 hours of restful sleep. At Slumber World, you can be sure to find the mattress you need to get the best sleep of your life. Using our Dream Discovery system, we can help you identify pressure points causing discomfort and recommend a bed that offers you the perfect balance of comfort and support. Discover better sleep at Slumber World, a local family company providing Hawaii the best sleep choices since 1999.
No one knows what the future holds. So let's protect what we have. Protect the people we love, the cars we drive, the homes we live in, and the businesses we work so hard to build. At Dietrich Insurance, we're here to protect Hawaii and the local customers we're privileged to serve. So let Dietrich protect what's important to you. For auto, home, and business insurance, talk to Dietrich or your insurance agent. Dietrich.
How's this guy? He's a garager. What? A garager. Second guys, they put everything in their garage except their car. It's a disease. It's called garageritis. Garageritis? Hawaii Self-Storage. They have storage units to clear the clutter and create more space. Not again. Don't be a garager. Store only at
Hawaii Self-Storage. Oh, yeah. I'm back.
Hi, I'm Amber. As a graduate gemologist, my commitment is to make sure you get the most for your unwanted jewelry. Whether you're selling gold, diamonds, or fine watches like Rolex or Cartier, come in today and see what your jewelry's worth. We always pay cash.
With over 23 years in business, Pacific Diamond is Hawaii's choice.
Visit one of our 2 locations on Kapiolani and the Waimalu Plaza in Aiea.
Welcome back. It's no surprise that many businesses have been hit hard by the pandemic, and scaling up operations in the upcoming months will be critical to keeping their doors open.
Yeah, that's why a Las Vegas-based company is creating a contactless experience that could catch on as soon as the vaccine gets a widespread rollout, which could happen as soon as this summer, as we've been hearing. Maddie White has the details.
Welcome. Your temperature is normal.
Thank you. You may have seen devices like these.
Stand closer, please.
That use thermal screening.
Temperature is normal.
To ensure you don't have a fever upon entering.
Wear a mask, please.
But have you ever considered these same machines could also be used to do this?
You know, depending on the policy of any facility, if they require a vaccine, all someone would have to do is either hold up their card, their vaccine card, and this machine can check it and verify right away if someone is up to date.
Monitoring your vaccine status in a contactless way. It's a vision these Las Vegas-based tech innovators have for public gathering entry once widespread vaccinations are rolled out.
Just like an ID card that you can scan with your phone, like a QR tag, these cameras have the ability to scan a QR code.
A QR code of our very own could be in our futures, just like those ones you use to pull up a menu on your phones in restaurants.
What we do know is the DoD is going to issue a card to every person that receives the vaccine. There's also going to be a digital record from the state, and that should be accessible for computer software companies to be able to pull that information.
Companies like theirs, eConnect. The Las Vegas native says his company's eClear software with the vaccination check update could be a game changer for tourism on the Las Vegas Strip, for example.
A lot of the people that visit casinos are maybe up there in age. So they may want a certain area that they know everyone that's working in the casino and everyone that's in that area has a vaccine.
He hopes by digitizing the entire pre-screening and contact tracing processes, they can ensure the well-being of staff and customers, not just in casinos, but in assisted living facilities, churches, and beyond.
Yeah, lived in Las Vegas, and leave it to them to come up with good technology. They have robot bartenders, too, so I can only imagine they're ahead of the curve with that. That was Maddie White reporting. All right, well, switching gears back here at home, turning now to your weekend forecast. Here's a live look outside at Hilo Bay. Pretty calm right now, but things have been a little bit unsettled depending on where you are in the islands. Let's hop on over to Maui and check in with meteorologist Malika Dudley, tracking it all for us this morning. Hey, Malika.
Good morning. Yes, yesterday was definitely very active for the island of Maui, Maui County in general, and also the Kona side of the Big Island. But things have calmed down significantly here in the Pukalani Kula area. Lots of lightning last night, some thunder, rain. But right now, nothing. It is calm. There is no rain. I can just hear some drops here and there. And today should be pretty nice. So let's take a look at this shot. Mahalo to Maurice for sending us this stunning image from the east side of Oahu. Today is a bit of a mixed bag because we are transitioning from one weather pattern to another, but overall, we're looking at nice conditions. Sunrise around 7 a.m. Some variability, of course, across the island chain. Sunset around 6:02 p.m. Today, we expect to start off with light winds, but that should change by the end of the day with trade winds filling back in. The big rainmaker we saw yesterday is clearing the islands, which means just light isolated showers are in the forecast for us. Lots of leeward sunshine, and we'll move into more dry and stable conditions. Current winds, you can see, still light. Single digits, some donut holes there, Kaneohe and Honolulu. And forecasted winds, though, as expected, looking like we're going to ramp back up into that 10 to 15 plus mile per hour range. Tuesday, a front is forecast to yet again cut off our winds. Moderate west-southwest winds Wednesday, shifting northerly behind the frontal passage Wednesday night into Thursday. More easterly Thursday as the front stalls out, falls apart. A couple of fronts are possible Friday into the weekend, bringing the potential for unsettled weather and more light wind conditions. That's pretty far out, so it's just an educated guess based on all available data. Rain-wise, dry and stable for the next couple of days, and then on Wednesday, increasing from Kauai down the island chain as that front passes through and then stalls out. We'll be back right after the break.
This segment of KITV4 Island News is sponsored by Spectrum.
Guys, yay! A new phone's here. I switched to Spectrum Mobile. I'm saving money and I get 5G nationwide. It's literally the smartest thing I've ever done.
You split an atom with the soda bottle and 2 straws.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of an accident.
You found the 10th planet.
I mean, it was just a little bit of calculus.
You found a cure for hiccups.
Yeah, but nationwide 5G and I'm saving 40%? Come on. Oh, almost forgot. I figured out time travel, so we're gonna get nuts later.
Switch to Spectrum Mobile, get 5G nationwide, and save up to 40%. It's a better way to mobile. Spectrum Mobile.
What's better than one puppy? 2 more puppies. What's better than one bunny? 2 more bunnies. And what's better than Hawaii's premier pet hospital? 2 more locations. Now, the same superlative, compassionate care Waipahu Waikele Pet Hospital is known for is offered right in your neighborhood. Our 3 locations make getting your pet the best in care more convenient for you. Pet Hospitals of Hawaii, caring for your pet as our own.
At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, like how nice it is to save on your auto policy. But it's even nicer knowing that if this happens, or this happens, or this, or this, or even this, we've seen and covered it. So switch to Farmers and you could save. Get a quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
It was the first time I've ever seen someone shoot up in front of me, and this person passed out. I didn't know how to react. And then somebody had sprayed something in his nostril. His face got some color back, started breathing. It was naloxone. It was crazy to me to know that's all that it took. I never knew that I could save life, and sometimes it's your duty to do that for somebody. Naloxone or Narcan, you can go down to your pharmacy, pick it up. You could save a life. You just need to have it on your person.
This is Good Morning Hawaii.
Welcome back. The time now, 6:25 a.m. Parties are something that have been discouraged during the pandemic, but a Wisconsin nursing home turned a vaccination clinic into a disco party.
Yeah, Trinae Amara takes us inside all the festivities.
There's a new me coming out, and I just have to live, and I wanna give.
Call it a celebration.
It's like a party, huh? I'll have a vodka martini, by the way.
Not kind of party, but the guests of honor here at Brookfield's Congregational Home are Walgreens and the Moderna vaccine.
Our nursing home residents have endured 10 months of
not being able to see their families, and this is just the first step towards changing that.
She's talking about residents like 86-year-old Navy veteran Robert Fisher, who came here 2 months ago for physical rehab and hasn't been able to hug his wife since.
She's in a vestibule, glass enclosed, and they give us cell phones. They both have masks on. And I can't see her. I mean, I can't get close to her, but at least I see her, you know.
His wife, though, is ready for more.
Then another thing she said, I can't wait till you get home so I can start hollering at you again. I said, boy, oh boy.
The first of 3 COVID vaccine clinics for Congregational Home, where a total of 308 staff and residents are eligible for the shot.
We're nearing almost 100% with our residents, and we want to near 75% with our staff.
I was happy, and it didn't hurt.
Like Robert says, a little prick for a lot of protection.
It is like nothing, you know? You don't even feel it.
Hey, it looks like a party there. You know, it was kind of the same energy when I was at a Palolo Chinese home and they were getting vaccinated. They were just so, you know, did you see the lady? She said, "Hey, I just want to get back to normal so I can get my hair done." You know, but also, you know, side note, I worked with Chernay, the reporter there in Vegas, so I'm sure sending warm vibes her way. She went to Wisconsin after Vegas, so pretty cold there right now.
I know a lot of Kapuna have been looking forward to vaccines, so we'll have more information on that later in the show.
Yeah, all right. Meanwhile, time now 6:28. Your top morning headlines and more coming up. We'll be right back on Good Morning Hawaii.
How's this guy? He's a garager. What? A garager. Second guys, they put everything in their garage except their car. It's a disease. It's called garageritis.
Garageritis.
Hawaii Self-Storage. They have storage units to clear the clutter and create more space.
Not again.
Don't be a garager. Store only at
Hawaii Self-Storage. Oh, yeah. I'm back.
I was really looking forward to graduation.
I worked at a restaurant out on the west side.
I was accepted into an art college in California. I was so excited to go.
All of that got taken away in a flash.
We had to apply for unemployment. It felt just so uncertain.
People could be taking this virus a little more seriously.
So that we can get back to doing all the things that we want to enjoy.
Real life for me would be able to dorm, hugging my friends, getting back to reality.
Baby, just to let me down. Let me down.
And mess me around.
And it works them all.
If you ride, you get it. Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Lalia to me represents peace, happiness, and friendship. I first got into real estate while working as a nurse in the Army. I applied that same care and commitment every day. My mission has been to personally serve my clients at a price they can afford.
1%的佣金，我帮您卖出您满意的房价。
Because everyone deserves affordable, great service. Lalea Homes. Get list with full service for only 1%.
Now, from KITV4 Island News, this is Good Morning Hawaii.
Welcome back, everybody. Time now, 6:30 a.m.
Yeah, we're starting this half hour with the siege at the Capitol. Overnight, security tightened with the arrival of National Guard troops.
Now, this comes as authorities make additional arrests and say there are likely more to come. ABC's Kenneth Moden has the latest details from Washington.
This morning, thousands of National Guard troops joining law enforcement at the Capitol after the violent and deadly attack on the Hill. The troops coming from several nearby states helping to secure the perimeter ahead of the inauguration. This as federal investigators work to figure out the exact motives of rioters. These images emerging of some with zip ties in the Senate chamber where Vice President Mike Pence was presiding. The crowd chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." This morning, Capitol Police now working with U.S. Air Marshals to protect traveling members of Congress.
You traitor!
GOP Senator Lindsey Graham confronted at D.C.'s airport by Trump supporters Friday, angry he and Congress certified Joe Biden's win.
You know it was rigged!
Meanwhile, federal authorities continue to round up suspects from Wednesday's attack. Tough to miss Jacob Chansley, a.k.a. Jake and Jelly, allegedly in the halls of Congress. The Phoenix man is now in federal custody. Newly elected West Virginia State Delegate Derek Evans resigning. Adam Johnson, the Florida man, allegedly spotted holding House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's lectern, now charged with theft of government property. This viral video of the angry mob facing off with a lone Capitol Police officer. Local reports in Iowa say it appears that man front and center is Douglas Jensen, taken into custody in Des Moines. ABC News has learned in the months leading up to the insurrection at the Capitol, the Trump administration gutted a key threat assessment group after controversy over the agency's response to civil unrest in Portland. Yes, there was online chatter from right-wing extremists about bringing violence to the Capitol on Wednesday, but sources say that DHS agency didn't put out any bulletins to its law enforcement partners. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
New this morning, West Virginia lawmakers are breathing a sigh of relief after a newly elected Republican delegate chose to resign. Derek Evans, who was just elected to the House in November, had not even started his term as delegate when he filmed himself making his way inside the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday. Evans was arrested on Friday and resigned less than 24 hours following his arrest. West Virginia's House Minority Leader Doug Scaff says resigning was one of the first good decisions he's made in the last few days.
Our state, once again, was brought up in national news and all across the world for all the wrong reasons. And the fact that he was in an elected position just amplified that. It's not about being a Democratic member of the legislature or a Republican member of the legislature. This is just about being a West Virginian who was embarrassed, our whole state.
Scaff says he's pleased Evans resigned before the regular legislative session began because he says the House of Delegates has work to do.
Yeah, you know, and here in Hawaii, there was kind of a similar concern because, you know, we talked to Adrian Tam, our state representative, you know, he said, you know, had Nick Oakes won that election, we would have been in a similar situation as we just saw from that delegate in West Virginia, where you could have potentially had a Hawaii state lawmaker that was part of those riots at the Capitol. But, you know, since Oakes lost that election, you know, still, you know, putting Hawaii in a bad light, but would have been a lot more severe consequences if it had been an elected official. So, yeah. Meanwhile, Inauguration Day now 10 days away, but many lawmakers want President Trump out of office before then. House Democrats are planning to introduce articles of impeachment as soon as tomorrow, and some Republicans have signaled it's something that they would also consider. Yeah, but with just days to go until President Donald Trump leaves office and the unlikelihood he would be convicted before January 20th, what's the point? As Britt Conway reports, part of it has to do with the message impeachment sends.
The gleeful desecration of the U.S. Capitol and the violence targeting Congress are horrors that will forever stain our nation's history, instigated by the President of the United States.
And in the days following, calls for President Trump to be impeached again from both sides of the aisle.
But we are asking ourselves a question of integrity right now about what type of nation we are going to be.
I believe the president has disregarded his oath of office. What he did was wicked.
Short term, if the impeachment process ends in Trump's conviction, he'd be removed from office. Long term, he could then be disqualified from holding federal office in the future. But there's not much time to force him out before the inauguration, with the Senate unlikely to take it up. And it's not clear whether or not impeachment proceedings can be continued after Trump leaves office, though some argue it is. Still, one presidential historian says impeachment sends a critical message.
It's a way of sending a signal that there are limits to appropriate dissent in America, and that violence is never acceptable.
And that's what's driving a number of lawmakers right now.
If we are not willing to state that the acts by the President of the United States to incite domestic terrorism and insurrection is an impeachable offense, then nothing is an impeachable offense.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
All right, well, time now, 6:36. A majority of Americans now say President Trump should be removed from office before his term ends. That's according to a new poll from ABC News. 56% of Americans believe that President Trump should be removed, while 43% say he should not. Now, later this morning on Good Morning Hawaii, Congressman Kai Kahele is going to be joining us to give his input on this. Of course, one of the original co-sponsors of impeachment there in the House as that potentially moves forward this week.
And stay with us here on KITV4 Island News for continuing coverage of the chaos on the Capitol. You can follow the latest developments on air, online, and across our social media platforms. Turning now to the pandemic, where experts say the mostly unmasked crowd at the Capitol on Wednesday raises the possibility of a super spreader event.
Yeah, and that's on top of the anticipated post-holiday rise in cases. For the latest on the coronavirus crisis, here's ABC's Zareen Shah.
This morning, one LA family grappling with losing 3 loved ones to COVID in just 3 weeks.
It's very shocking and still trying to process it.
This 8-year-old lost both parents.
He sat there and looked at her and was like, "My mom's in my heart. I know she's not coming home."
So many patients in the city passing away. The National Guard now in Southern California to help move them and assist staff in jam-packed hospitals.
The most striking for me was just how crowded it was coming to the hospital. The feeling of chaos walking in, controlled chaos. At the same time, it felt like things were somewhat unstable, almost at the breaking point.
Cedars-Sinai's medical director of emergency department worries for his staff too.
The human toll of this pandemic is something that we can't fully grasp. It takes so much effort and energy to take care of them. And our staff, they're burning out.
Nationwide, similar scenarios. States shattering COVID case records and hospitalizations. Arizona becoming a hotspot again, now with the world's highest infection rate per capita. State Farm Stadium turning into a 24-hour vaccine site on Monday.
It will just be on a first-come, first-serve, by appointment basis.
The vaccine rollout critical. Overnight, Minnesota becoming the 9th state to confirm cases of that highly contagious UK strain of the virus. New York reporting more cases of it too.
That is, again, as far as I'm concerned, a situation where the federal government was asleep at a switch.
Today, New York City rolling out vaccine hubs like this one. And there are more glimmers of hope. This Illinois oncology nurse receiving both vaccine doses from her own nurse daughter.
I wonder if this changes your dynamic with all the patients going forward.
When I'm giving them, I try to reassure them, like, yep, I gave it to my mom and, we're both doing great. It's full circle. It's like I gave birth to her and now she is going to keep me alive because she's giving me this life-saving vaccine.
Well, here at home, DOH reported 4 more COVID-19 related deaths and 250 new cases. 159 are on Oahu, 51 on Maui, 20 on the Big Island, and 20 Hawaii residents were diagnosed with COVID-19 out of state. Now, since the start of the pandemic, the state has reported more than 23,000 cases. The statewide death toll stands at 307.
And Hawaii is in need of at least 700 more doctors statewide. That's according to a new study from the University of Hawaii, showing that the state's physician shortage has been exacerbated amid this pandemic.
Yeah, KITV4's Ali Duklo explains why there's less physicians when they're needed most and what's being done about it.
Doctors are retiring due to closure of practices as practices are businesses, and also the need for more technology, which the older physicians may or may not want to do. Many of our physicians, also for cost of living situations, move to the mainland as they can make a higher wage there.
But the problem is also impacting aspiring doctors. Due to pandemic safety precautions, medical students haven't been able to complete clinical rotations in hospitals and clinics.
So it's been a little bit hard trying to find opportunities out there, especially as a pre-med, as you're trying to, gain more experience to get into medical school.
The limited opportunities motivated pre-med student Jasmine Patamata to take matters into her own hands, organizing a blood and bone marrow drive in Waipahu on Saturday. It's one of the projects the Philippine Medical Association of Hawaii has helped facilitate to help up-and-coming Filipino healthcare workers like Patamata gain experience amid the pandemic.
We found value of doing other community things, not just in the hospitals and in clinics, and I think it's a worthwhile experience.
experience for them. Being able to do that in the community that we love is even, I guess, the cherry on top.
Ali Iduklo, KITV4 Island News.
Yeah, so important there. So many people stepping up in the medical community, especially during these tough times. Well, turning now to your weather, here's a live look out at Hilo Bay. Time for a check of your surf with meteorologist Malika Dudley. We're seeing some of those videos, people getting barreled out there. Another swell on the way?
Yes, and in fact, this swell, just as the weather was kind of bumped up a notch last night, well, the surf too, according to the National Weather Service, quote, it is well above predicted. So let's show you what is happening. Our current north-northwest swell has now prompted a low and high surf warning for the north and west shores of Niihau, Kauai, Molokai, and Oahu, as well as the north shore of Maui. A high surf advisory will go into effect Monday morning at 6 a.m. for the Big Island's north and east shores and the west side of Maui. And a small craft advisory is also posted for all the areas you see there in light purple. Here are the numbers. On average, 20 to 25 foot faces for north shores, 16 to 20 foot faces for west shores, 1 to 3 south, 2 to 4 east. Variability by island brings 16 to 20 foot faces for the north shore of the island of Hawaii, 2 to 4 for the west side. Maui's west shore getting up to about 8 to 12 foot faces. Our surf forecast model shows our current swell peaking between daybreak and noon. This wintertime pattern is expected to continue with more swells on the way. Another north-northwest is forecast to build Monday and peak Monday night, followed by a large north-northwest arriving Wednesday night and peaking late Thursday at warning levels. Keep in mind, high tide has been really fat. Earlier this morning, the high tide was more than 2 feet, so that combined with the large swell will lead to more coastal erosion issues, especially for those areas impacted by the large swell. I'll go into detail with your 8-day forecast in just a little bit. We'll be back right after the break.
It may be time to pack away the tree, but that doesn't mean the excitement is over. The fireworks are just beginning at Ashley Home Store Hawaii's New Year's sale. Save up to $500 and get 12 months financing. Let us help you fulfill your New Year's resolution to update your home with great deals on sectionals, sofas, bedroom groups, TV stands, and many more quality home furnishings. Save up to $500 and get 12 months financing during the New Year's sale. Happening now at Ashley Home Store Hawaii. This is home.
So there you were, finally making some headway when the whole landscape changes. That's when you can use an old friend like Speedy Cash, your bridge over troubled waters. Speedy Cash, we're here for you, online and in-store.
Why do I love our Savior Lutheran School? My teachers. The after-school programs. All the friends I've made. My education. My faith.
There are so many reasons to love our Savior Lutheran School, so come and see for yourself.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis, little things can become your big moment. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not a cream. It's a pill that treats plaque psoriasis differently. With Otezla, 75% clear skin is achievable. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. It may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicines and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Otezla, show more of you.
It's here. Instant funding online from SpeedyCash.com. Apply for a loan using the Speedy Cash app. If approved, funds applied to your debit card in minutes. Get instant funding from SpeedyCash.com.
This is Good Morning Hawaii.
Aloha and welcome back to Good Morning Hawaii Weekends. I'm meteorologist Malika Dudley, live in the Pukalani Kula area of Maui. Sunrise is in about 15 minutes. You can see the beautiful colors of dawn behind me. Well, it's pretty chilly up here and there isn't a lot of wind. Let's take a look at our current maps to show you exactly what's happening across the state. Current wind conditions are in the single digits for now. It looks like no wind for Kaneohe and Honolulu, Kahului as well, and that's what it feels like here in the Pukalani Kuala area, it's quite chilly as well. Forecasted winds, though, picking back up. So trade winds are expected to fill in today in the 10 to 15 plus mile per hour range. Currently, our temperatures across the state are in the 60s and 70s, 65 for Kahului, 64 in Lanai City, 67 for Hilo and Lihue. Here's a current look out at Honolulu, the Honolulu City Lights. It's 70 degrees there with 78% humidity, and as I said, just calm winds. Our 8-day forecast, lots of action there because our wet season continues to bring us rounds of unsettled weather. For now, dry and stable, at least for the next couple of days, then things begin to shift. As the front approaches, our winds will again collapse. We'll go back to light and variable wind conditions. They'll shift around out of the southwest as that front draws closer. As the front moves through, we'll have west-southwesterly winds shifting to northerly winds behind it, and we expect trade winds back around Thursday. The end of the week looks pretty iffy. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we could have more unsettled weather and the potential for light and variable winds yet again. So I'll keep an eye on that, of course, and I'll bring you the latest. Back over to you guys.
Thanks, Malika. Now, we know it's been a really tough week for Congress this week, as some members of them are going to be wanting a day of accountability for what happened during the riots this week.
Yeah, and one of the very first members of Congress to call for President Trump's impeachment for a second time is Hawaii's own Congressman Kai Kahele. He's taken some time out this morning to catch us all up back here at home. And Congressman, I know it's been a difficult week for all of us. Good morning. We appreciate you being here.
Hey, good morning, Tom, and mahalo. Aloha, Hawaii. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You know, first of all, I just wanted to kind of get your reaction to what happened in Congress. Now that you've had a little bit more time to process this, I mean, this is your first term in Congress. You're in the middle of a pandemic. You're getting used to your new role. And then this attack happens on our Capitol. Kind of what are your thoughts this morning?
You know, I was just sworn in 7 days ago, a week ago, and I would never have imagined I would have experienced, and my family would have experienced, the type of week we did. You know, January 6th, 2021, you know, it's a sad day for our nation. And in the annals of history, it will be remembered as a day that will have lived in infamy. 200 years from now, when a sitting president tried to essentially dismantle our democracy and put a joint session of Congress at risk, the vice president's life at risk, it's a very sad day for our country. And, you know, it should be a time, you know, it should be and will be remembered for a time when our nation stood up against violence, against the desecration of our Capitol building, and how members of Congress handled this situation, you know, with solidarity and with resolute strength. And that's what we intend to do this week.
Yeah, let's talk about that, the action you're planning to take possibly tomorrow with the impeachment. Now, you were among one of the first co-sponsors, now nearly about 200 supporting this. Tell us about what are some of the articles that you've drafted or planning to introduce. What specifically do you allege in terms of Trump's role in those riots?
So right now, the House will convene tomorrow morning in a pro forma session. 2 articles of impeachment will be introduced in the House, authored by 2 different members of Congress. One of the articles that I've signed on to is a single article of impeachment, of abuse of powers, that covers inciting violence against the United States, as well as President Trump urging Georgia's Secretary of State to find votes to alter the Georgia election results. The second article of impeachment, sponsored by Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, outlines the president's abuse of power and his unlawful attempts to overturn the election, and also his abuse of power to incite violence and orchestrate a coup against our country.
And can you?
So right now, that's my focus: is restoring our democracy.
Yeah.
You know, Tom, we must do this by removing President Trump from office.
And can you kind of talk about that sense of urgency? I want to, you know, reference a tweet that you just put out this morning. Obviously very passionate about this, and we'll read it for our viewers real quick. It says, my supporter, referring to Trump supporters, spread urine and feces throughout our equipment, and you go on to say it's a little late for healing and unity. Can you kind of talk about this sort of sense of urgency? Obviously, the new poll showing a majority of the country now believes President Trump should be removed from office before the end of that term. Can you kind of talk about the timetable we're looking at, since there are only 10 days left in this administration, but also potential damage that he could inflict if allowed to stay in office?
You know, Tom, it's also precedent for the people in Hawaii and throughout our country who want us to heal, to want us to move on, to want us to unite the president accountable. What we are going to do this week must be done. If this was a foreign country, if this was a foreign terrorist organization that overtook our capital, would we do anything differently? Absolutely not. We have to hold this president accountable. We have to remove him from office. We have to act swiftly. And that's what we're going to do this week. And I predict there could be an impeachment vote in the House of Representatives by the middle of the week against President Trump.
Congressman, I just real quickly, I wanted to ask this because we've heard from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi about the concern that this could taint the first few days of President-elect Joe Biden's term. You know, this could be the Senate trial, if it goes forward, would be timed in his inauguration day. Is this what we really want to kick off his term?
We don't have any choice. There was a armed insurrection against the United States of America from within our borders. That we just cannot move on from that. In order for us to heal, we have to hold people accountable. Anyone that entered the United States Capitol, anyone that damaged federal property, anyone that stole electronic equipment from the United States Capitol, that defaced our Capitol, they must be held accountable. And the person who incited all of that violence was President Trump and members of the GOP. They must be held accountable. We cannot move on as a country until we do that.
All right, Congressman Kaikahele discussing that for us from Washington. We appreciate your time this morning, Congressman. I know it's been a tough week.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Aloha.
Right, aloha. Yeah, and as you just heard there from Congressman Kahele, moving forward with the impeachment process, possibly action as soon as the middle of this week. So, of course, we'll have more on this ongoing situation at the Capitol. More news and weather coming up after the break. You're watching Good Morning Hawaii. Time now, 6:53.
KITV4 Island Weather, sponsored by Kapili Roofing and Painting.
Protect your home from Hawaii's next severe weather event with a new roof from Kapili Roofing. Local, family-owned Kapili Roofing has been providing peace of mind one roof at a time for over a decade. From small repairs to large commercial re-roofing projects, Kapili Roofing has the knowledge and experience to install a roof you can count on for years. Ask about our GAF Master Elite warranty and how you can earn up to 40,000 Hawaiian Air miles with a new roof.
Kapili Roofing, building peace of mind, one roof at a time.
The old and in with the new. It's time to refresh your home for the new year with Homeworld. Put your best foot forward into 2021 with new designs for every room in your home with amazing deals. Save up to $500 and get 12 months financing. Shop online at homeworld.com or visit us in store for professional insight to help design your dream home. Shop quality brands at great prices from a locally owned company. Refresh your home for the new year at Homeworld.
We have all been impacted by the pandemic. With businesses closed, millions have lost their jobs, and frustration is on the rise. Thousands of lives taken too early. Enough is enough. It's time to take back our power. It's time to fight. Introducing nano-atmospheric sanitization, our revolutionary solution that is safe, non-toxic, and yet deadly to viruses. Make your New Year's resolution to be a part of the solution. Rise up and become a hero today.
Paul Drews, News and Weather, weekends on KITV4 Island News.
Hawaii is my home, and safety for those who live here is my priority. You count on accuracy, and we work hard every day to deliver.
Tasia Worley, it's a Good Morning Hawaii on KITV4 Island News. Weather and traffic on Good Morning Hawaii.
Zion looks down to Cheatham. Cheatham one-on-one versus Cholina. Left hand is good.
Just 2 seconds left. UC Riverside took a 2-point lead over the Rainbow Warriors. Justin Webster, the half-court heave for the win. He could not get it to go in. 70-68, a bit of a UH heartbreak. They were in control late in this ball game before it slipped away. They won on Friday, but were not able to pull off the back-to-back sweep of the Highlanders. Caston Jardine carried this team. 26 points on 10 of 12 shooting. Also a game high in rebounding, bringing down 9 boards. Since injuring his ankle in mid-December, DeForest Buckner has not only been out there every Colts game day, but he's put together one of the best stretches of football in his career. Friday earned AFC Defensive Player of the Month honors, as well as being named to the NFL All-Pro First Team, but missed most of practice this week, and Buckner was a game-time decision.
You don't block number 99 in white, forget it.
It is playoff time, and with the season on the line, it would take a whole lot more to keep the Punahou grad out of his shoulder pads. He didn't get a sack, but stuffed the Bills running back on a 3rd and 1. Buckner had to watch on the sidelines as his offense tried to keep their season alive. That touchdown cut it to a 27-24 Buffalo lead. One last chance for Indy. Phillip Rivers pulled the trigger, but could not deliver. The Bills escape with their first playoff victory since 1995, 27-24 the final. Jared Goff dealing with an injured thumb, so John Wolford got the start for the Rams as their quarterback. Just 2 drives in against the Seahawks, Wolford had to be taken to the hospital with a neck injury, so Goff had to go in, and what a performance he got from his defense. A pick 6 of Russell Wilson. LA pulled off the upset of Seattle, 30-20. Tampa Bay haven't won a playoff game since they became Super Bowl champions back in 2003. Now with quarterback Tom Brady, they took on the Washington football team. Their QB Alex Smith out with injury, and Taylor Heineke made his 2nd career start, and they stayed with Tampa Bay most of the way, but Brady, he threw 2 touchdowns over 25 yards for the first time in his NFL record 42 playoff appearances. He had 3